Hello, I'm John with Roadkill Incorporated, and I just wanted to make a quick video to document a large purchase I made of PowerMac G5s and Mac Pros back there. So yeah, I bought these from a recycler for pretty cheap. They had them for a long time. I said no several times, and then eventually I broke down and took these guys home. So yeah, so first thing I learned is that the G5s have two fans. They're identifiable by two fans, and then the Mac Pros have one fan. So that was important to realize when I initially got these things. So yeah, G5s are pretty old. They're based on the PowerPC processor made by Motorola, I think. They have pretty severe limitations at this point. You can only load up to, I think, Leopard on them. So yeah, makes them not very functional. I wonder if Linux would be a good choice for these because, you know, obviously that will let you do more. So yeah, interesting machines though. Lots of various cards. Some of them have TV production cards in there, sort of like Amiga video toaster type deals, it looks like. So what I'm trying to do with these is get them set up so they could actually be usable, both the Pros and the G5s. I figure most people really don't know what Ethernet is at this point, and they really don't know what DVI is. These have, you know, the dual DVI connectors. So I got these DVI to HDMI converters, thinking, you know, pretty much everyone has a TV and an HDMI cable. And then I'm looking at these wireless cards. These go in the G5s. These are the old Airport Extremes that went in like iBook G4s and that era of machines. And then the Mac Pros take these that came in the original white A1181 MacBooks. So yeah, just thinking if I can, you know, figure out the video issue and then also the wireless issue, that will, you know, let these machines live on a little longer. A lot of the G5s, I think the most current ones, have this kind of funky power plug. So I had to get these kind of crazy cables for them. I don't know why they did that, but there you go. So what else can I say? Yeah, the Pros, they were from 2006 to 2010, I believe, designated by, you know, the first ones were 1,1 up to 5,1. I think up through 3,1 or so, they would only go up to El Capitan, and then higher than that is capable of High Sierra, which is nice. Yeah, you can flash, I think, the 4.1s to 5.1s. Which apparently a lot of people do. These are highly upgradable. People upgrade the video cards all the time, the processors all the time. Apple still is trying to catch up to the expandability of these machines. Only in the most recent Mac Pro, which is, you know, more expensive than most people can afford, have they really approached the expandability of these things. So there's, you know, a huge community of people who still love these machines, are, you know, still pushing them to the limit and putting, you know, new stuff in there and to see what they can do. These are difficult to ship. As you can see, the handles kind of bend. They look like they'd be tough, but they're not so tough. And these machines are all in a very difficult period of their life because they're really only worth about $100, especially the lower end ones. And it costs most of $100 to ship these guys. So yeah, that puts them in a tough spot. You know, there's really no profit to be made yet. Yeah, and it's just hard to ship them too. Like both physically hard to ship them, and it's hard to justify the $70, $80 shipping charge. And they're very heavy. There's a ton of metal in these, so you can actually make, I would guess, $30, $40 to scrap one of the things. So they're getting very close to the point of just ending up scrapped. So I'm gonna try and salvage these as much as I can, but yeah, the future is not looking good for Mac Pros and definitely PowerMac G5s. So I wanted to I've got some opened up here, just wanted to show you the internals a little bit. They're really interesting machines on the inside. So this, I believe, is the older variation. I think you've got two processors there. So they've got these goofy plastic deals here. And you can see how expandable they are. You've got the drive bays, the optical bay, the slots. There's a video card down there. Then you've got this fan thing. It's kind of cool how it just comes undone there. There's a socket down in the bottom for it. And then you have these monster CPU modules. I don't know if it's one module or two. You know, just a crazy heatsink. The RAM slots, memory on these, it's all interleaved, I believe, which is interesting. And then moving on to, I think this is the newer variation. Still has this for some reason. Probably to keep airflow contained inside it. I don't know, who knows. But this one's got a monster sort of processor module deal. And more memory slots than the older version, looks like. A lot of the newer G5s had a liquid-cooled processor. I'm not sure if this thing is that version. I haven't really ripped it apart to see, but that's sort of an interesting element of the newer G5s. And the liquid would leak, and there was a big recall on them, that sort of thing. So that was a big mess for Apple back in the day. And then we move on to the Mac Pros. And, you know, Mac Pro people, I know you're gonna start yelling at me because I don't know these as well as I used to. But yeah, here we go. So these guys have interleaved memory on two cards that go in there like that. Kind of an interesting approach. And then you have the fans over here. I don't know if that comes out like it did on the others. And then you have the video card. Can hold 4 hard drives on these, I think they're called sleds. So you just mount the hard drive on there, and then it kind of goes into the sockets down there at the bottom. And then you have 2 optical drive bays with those sort of metal doors on the front, which are notorious for, you know, getting jammed and causing problems. And then the power supply. And here is, I believe, a newer one. Hope I have that straight. Yeah, I think this is a newer one. So you've got the big processor module at the bottom. The memory is in slots on this sort of big daughter board here. And then you've got the drive bays. You've got everything as before here. And this is a Radeon card. I believe this is an upgraded card from the no longer OEM version. Yeah, I think this is a third-party card added in. Probably helped take this machine to the next level. I think this is the OEM card. I think it's also, is it a Radeon? A1310, I don't know. But, oh, GeForce GT120, okay. But yeah, I think this is the stock card, and then I think this is an example of something you would upgrade it to. So there's that. Interesting note is that the side panels of these machines had some instructions. This helps you understand the memory interleaving, which was kind of tricky to get right. I remember having problems and the machine beeping at me when I tried to upgrade the RAM, so that's kind of cool. And then the G5 tells you how to take the side panel off and take the fans out, that sort of thing. So let's see what speed these are. Two gigahertz dual processor, and this guy is, if I could read, it would help. 2.3 gigahertz dual core, I think. So anyway, there's that. So yeah, so we'll see what happens. I'm gonna start getting rid of these, which is why I wanted to do a video now, just to sort of document what's going on. And that's it. Let me know if you have an interest in these. Might still have some by the time you watch the video. And oh, sort of on a totally different topic, if anyone needs like 1,500 of the 6-foot extensions for MagSafe adapters, please let me know. I have lots and lots of them. They do make kind of a nice standing table, as you can see, with different platforms. But really, I would prefer to clean up the garage and just not have these around anymore. But anyway, so yeah, there's that. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully I didn't get all my information wrong, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.